Now we'll talk about your BeautifulSoup and request libraries and how you can use them for web scraping tasks. Okay, so here let me introduce you to request first of all. So if you haven't installed it, if you are using some other IDE or some other distribution, make sure that you install these libraries beforehand before using it. Now how to install that? So here, to install it in Jupyter Notebooks, you can write exclamation mark your pip install and request. So we have installing this request. Okay, so here if we run this, it says requirement already satisfied, as Jupyter Notebooks mostly come pre-installed with your request library. Also, we need to install BeautifulSoup. So here I will write exclamation mark pip install bs4, that is BeautifulSoup 4, and run it. Now it will install BeautifulSoup here. Now it again says requirement already satisfied. Add this Google Colab comes pre-installed with your BS4, that is BeautifulSoup as well. Now as we have installed our request and we have installed BS4, next you need to import these libraries. So you need to import the libraries, import packages, right? So here I will write import request and import from BS4 import BeautifulSoup. From BS4 import BeautifulSoup. So we are going to make use of these two libraries. We are going to make use of these two libraries here. Okay, so let's run it. Now to run it, I press Shift and enter, and it will take you to next code block. Right now, here you need a website. Right, you need a website from which we are going to make a request. We will need a website to make a request. Right, for example, if I go to here in browser and here if I write, let's say web scraping or something, it is giving us, we are making a request to Google, right? And it gives back your this page here, this search page, right? So here again, what we need to do is we need to make a request to any website. So here, for example, if I write CodeGnan.com, right? Here, if we pass this, here we are making a request to CodeGnan.com, and they are responding to our request by sending this web page, right? So again here, we need to do the same thing. We need to make a request first. So here, how we are going to make a request? So to make a request, we need a URL first of all, right? So URL equals to, let's say we want to make a request to this website. So it is your webscraper.io so /test-site/e-commerce all in one, right? So what I will do is, I will copy this URL. Go back to my notebook here, and I will paste this URL inside my codes. So now we have this URL here, right? We have stored that in our URL variable. Now, you need to make a request to this URL. To make a request, you will write request dot get, and make sure that you include this s here. It is not request, it is request dot get, and here in my bracket, inside this bracket, I will pass the URL. So we are writing URL equals to https webscraper.com. This is our URL, and we are making a request, get request. Now let's run it. So here we are getting this response 200. That means we have successfully made a request to this website. Okay, if you get something other than this 200, you will get like 404 or 440, something like that. Then that means the request has been denied. Okay, so make sure that you get this 200. Now let's store this in a variable, response variable. So response equals to request.get URL. So this is our response. If we print our response, we'll get this 200, right? Now we don't want this 200. What we want is, we want the source code of this website, right? We want the source code of this website. For example, here, if I go to e-commerce training site here and do a right click and do a inspect, here I will be able to see all these tags. This is the source code for this website. Okay. So these are your tags. If I move my mouse here, you will be able to see that it is highlighting to this different sections, right? So we need this source code so that we can locate our tag, we can navigate through these tags and scrape the data. So here I will just write response dot text, and here if I run it, shift enter, here is the response, right? We are getting this doc HTML, anti-flicker and blah 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 and all that, right? Now this does not look good, right? So if we just write response.text, it does not look good, right? We are not able to locate and find our tags in which our data might be present. So here, instead of text, I can also use content. Okay, and again I will get the same thing. So again we are getting the same thing, but this time we have got this in just single line, right? Now we don't want this because it becomes really hard for us to navigate through all these tags. So we will use your BeautifulSoup now. We'll use our BeautifulSoup now. So here I will just write, just skip that. We don't need to erase that. Here I will write, I will create a variable soup. So soup equals to, I'll give BeautifulSoup, give this in brackets, okay, and here response dot content, and here we need to give this parser. So I'll write HTML. Okay, so this is our HTML. Now let's print our soup. So I will just write soup and let's run it. Now you'll see that now you can easily navigate through all these tags, right? We can easily navigate through all these tags now. You'll see you have li, we have this a tag, we have li class, p tag and all that. Now here the hierarchy is not maintained, right? You're not able to see the hierarchy. If you want to see the hierarchy, we'll just write print soup dot prettify and close this. Let's run it. Okay, I forgot to add the braces here, so you need to add this braces over here. Okay. Now you'll see this hierarchy is maintained now, right? Now you can easily navigate through all these tags. You can locate the information and you can scrape your data that you are looking for. So now let's try to scrape some data from this website. So here if I go to this website, and here let's move down, let's accept this. Okay, now let's say we want to scrape this price, that is dollar something 144.40. So I will do a right click here. I will do a right click on this information that I want to scrape and go to inspect. So here it is pointing us to this H4 tab, right? In H4 if you see, we have dollar 1144.40. So let's try to scrape this information. So how we are going to do that? So what I will do is, I will go back here, and here in next code block, we have stored this content in our soup object, right? So soup dot, I will write find, soup dot find, and here we'll give the tag name. So what is the tag name in which this data is present? So this data is present inside our H4 tag, right? So we have H4 tag. So here I will give H4, right? Now if I run it, let's see what we are going to get. So we are getting this h4, the class is full right price, and we are getting this $1114.55, right? So is that correct? We are getting 1144.40, right? So that's not correct actually, right? So here you need to specify the class as well, right? We need to specify the class. So this is your attribute. We call this as attribute of your h4 tag. So here we can specify comma attrs equals to a dictionary. So we can have many attributes. Here we just have this class, right? So I will give class is to, what is the class? So class is your full -right price. So let's just copy this, not paste. Let's just copy it, Control C, go back here, and let's just paste it. Now let's run it. So again we are getting $1114.55. Let me check this website again. Let's close this. Is there anything like that? Let's rephrase this. Okay. So yeah, again it is changing, right? So again if I run this, it will change. See? So that's, we are getting the right information. It just, every time you make a new request, it is changing this price. Okay? So it is changing the price of the first, this element. So we have got this 1114.55, right? So if I run this, we are getting this h4 class full right price $1114.55, right? This is your using your find. We are finding this h4 tag with the attribute class full right price. Now here we don't want this tag, that is h4 class full right price. We just want this price $1114.55. So here I will just write dot text, and if I run it now, here we are getting this $1114.55, right? Now this is just for your single list, right? Just for the single element, Lenovo ThinkPad, and let's say any other item that you have here. What if you want the prices of all the items that is present here? All the item that is present here. In that case, we will use find all. So I'm just going to copy it, copy this all, and here I'm going to paste it. So Control V, and here I will write soup dot find underscore all, find all. And with find all, I cannot use dot text. Why? We will see that. Let's run it now. So here we are getting this information about this 3 items and their prices. So we have $1114.55, we have 408, we have $1133.82, right? So here, if you see, this is a list. This is a list. If you see, this is enclosed within this brackets, right? So this is a list, and this is our first item in the list. This is our first item in the list. This is our second item in the list. This is our third item in this list, right? So here I cannot use dot text on this list object. So it says, if you do that, you will find this attribute error. We says result set object has no attribute text. You are probably treating a list of items like a single item. But what we can do is, we can just write, here we can just write, let's show this in, let's say A equals to, okay? So we have stored that in A. So A is our list. So I can write, now I can write a for loop and iterate through each of these elements one by one. So I can write for I in A. Now I can write print I dot text, and here we'll get this prices. So this is your find and find all. So remember that with find you cannot use dot text, but with sorry, with find we can use dot text, but with find all, this is a list object, right? This is a list. When we use find all, it will give you a list of all the elements with the tag h4 and the attribute class equals to pool right price. So we need to iterate over them.
I hope you have enjoyed watching it. If you have liked our content, please do hit like button and do subscribe to our YouTube channel for more useful content and exciting updates. If you want to learn such practical content at an affordable cost with Microsoft certification and instructor support, please register at academy.codegnan.com. You can also download app from Play Store as CodeGnan. Never hesitate to raise queries in the comment section, and please do reply with your suggestions for more practical videos. We'll be happy to come up with it. Thank you.